Hello friends, this is Sophia. Let's learn about inheritance in Java. At the end of this presentation, you will know about what is inheritance in Java. We can see a demo of inheritance. Is a relationship in inheritance, class diagrams, and convert those class diagrams into code, advantages of inheritance, and types of inheritance. So, what is inheritance in Java? Inheritance in Java is a concept that acquires the properties from one class to other classes. It acquires the properties. Let's take a live example as father and son. Son inherits some qualities of father. That doesn't mean son is the father. It inherits some qualities of father. Okay, so in Java, a class can inherit attributes and method from another class. So what a class contains? A class contains attributes and methods, right? So the subclass inherits the attribute and methods of the superclass. Okay, so inheritance describes the is a relationship. We will learn about is a relationship with example in detail in this video. Okay, let's proceed. Inheritance. This is the superclass. This box is superclass, or we can say base class or parent class, and this one is subclass, or we can say derived class or child class. So the class from which the properties are inherited is known as superclass or the parent class. The class from which the properties are inherited is known as the superclass or the parent class, and the class that inherits the properties is known as subclass or the child class. The class that inherits the properties is known as the subclass or the child class. In inheritance, the properties of the base class are acquired. The properties of the base class are acquired by the derived class. This is the syntax of inheritance: class, derived class, extends, base class. So derived class is the subclass and base class is the superclass, and this is the extends keyword. Inside it we declare the attributes and methods. General format for inheritance: class, superclass, superclass data variables, superclass member functions goes here, class, subclass, extends superclass. Extends superclass means it inherits the properties and method of the superclass. Also, it contains subclass data variable and subclass member function. We use the keyword extends here. So extends keyword extends a class and is an indicator that a class is being inherited by another class. A class is being inherited by another class. When you say class B extends class A, it means that class B is inheriting the properties of class A. That is all the methods and attributes of class A. Here class A is the superclass or parent class. Class B is the subclass or child class. Let's see a demo. So to do that, let's open file, new, open Java project. Give project name as inheritance in Java, which I have given here. Then click finish. Then right click on the src folder, new, package. Give the package name with your choice. I given here Sophia 1. Then finish. Then right click on the package name, new, and create a class. Give a class name here. Here I have given inheritance test 1. Click the checkbox, public static void main, then finish. Then it open this window. Okay, here I written the code already. I create the base class which contain the method m1, which shows the output. This is the base class or superclass method. Then I create the subclass, name is derived, which contain the method m2, which shows the output. This is a derived class or subclass method. This derived class extends the base class, that is superclass. So when we create the object of the subclass derived, we can access both superclass method and the subclass method. We invoke both the method by using the object of the subclass with the help of dot operator. D dot m1, which is the method of superclass, D dot m2, which is the method of subclass. Let's run it. Right click here, run as Java application. Yes, you can see this is the base class or superclass method. This is derived class and subclass method. We can call both the method, and this object of the subclass can inherit the properties of the superclass too. Yes. Now let's see what is next. Is a relationship. Inheritance describes the is a relationship. So here I take the example of a spaceship. The spaceship is the superclass, and I took two names, Starfighter, Cargo Shuttle. These are two subclasses. Starfighter is a spaceship, or we can say a cargo shuttle is a spaceship, but we can't say a cargo shuttle is a starfighter. It is not correct because it has a different relationship with each other, not the inheritance. Using phrase like is a kind of or is a type of is sometimes easier to use than is a. Let's see how can we replace it. A starfighter is a kind of spaceship, yes. A cargo shuttle is a type of spaceship, yes. So we can replace it with is a kind of or is a type of. Okay. Let's see this example with class diagram in the next slide. Yes, this is the class diagram. This is the class spaceship. This is the superclass. It contains the attribute shield active, shield strength, position, and the method set shield move. This is a class. This is the superclass, or you can say parent class. Now the two subclasses, Starfighter and Cargo Shuttle. These two subclasses inherit the properties of the specific, the superclass. All the attributes and methods inherits with it. Define new method. The starfighter define fire missile method, and the class cargo shuttle define two different methods, cargo and drop cargo. Yes, here I took another subclass, that is RAP cursor. It also inherits all the properties of the specific superclass. Yes, but here I want to show the method overriding. What is method overriding? Look, here this is move method is here in the superclass. I define the move method in subclass also. So let's know through this what is method overriding. Now let's see, convert this class diagram into code in Java. Okay, so I have created the another class inside this package Sophia1, which is inside the project name inheritance in Java. As a new class, right click here, create a new class, name as spaceship game. Okay, click the checkbox and finish. Right, so as mentioned in the superclass, in this diagram, in the class diagram, the superclass is the spaceship. So I write here class spaceship. Okay, then declare the instance variable here, int shield active, int shield strength, int position. Then this is the two methods. Here I declare this method, define this method, public where set shield, where it shows two output. This is a set shield method of superclass, and another spaceship data which contains the value of this instance variable, set shield active, shield strength and position. Another method, move method, right, which shows the output IFMove method of the superclass spaceship. Okay, and here I define two constructors by right clicking it, go to source, then generate constructor using field. Okay, like that you have to create it. Source, go to the field. Why it is so this operation is not applicable to the current selection, select a class. Okay, I am outside the class, that's why. Let's see now. Source, generate constructor using fields. Yes, at that time my cursor is outside the class. So by going through like that, you have to generate constructor using fields. Now deselect it and generate it. You get non-parameterized constructor, and when you select it and click generate, you get parameterized constructor. Like that you do it 2 times. So here I created a non-parameterized constructor spaceship. As you know, the constructor name is same as class name. This is the non-parameterized constructor, where I have written shows the output, hi, I am non-parameterized constructor of superclass spaceship. And this is the parameterized constructor which shows the parameter. Okay, so when we pass the parameter, it calls this constructor, and when we do not pass the parameter, it's called this spaceship constructor, and this is a default constructor, right, non-parameterized constructor. So this is the another two properties. So all the properties is inherited by these subclasses. So the superclass part done, everything finished. We define the two method, declare the instance variable, define the constructor. So superclass part done. Now let's go to the subclass. So the next first subclass starfighter. Starfighter. Starfighter extends specific. I use the keyword extends here. Specific. So here the method name is fire missile. So I here define the method fire missile. This is the fire missile method of starfighter. And no need to again define all these methods again. It inherits everything from specific. It inherits. Okay. So no need to define again. Now let's go to the second class. Which is the second class? Wrap cursor. Wrap cursor extends basic. Yes, it extends the properties of basic. And here you can see the move method is there. So here I define the move method again. In superclass also move method is there. So what will happen? You just think. Okay. Here I override the move method. Now go to the subclass cargo setter. Cargo setter extends specific. Yes, extend all the properties of specific. With we define two extra methods, cargo and drop cargo. Cargo and drop cargo. It shows the output. This is the subclass cargo setter, and drop cargo shows the output drop cargo here. Now let's instantiate object of all the subclasses. First I instantiate object of subclass cargo setter. It's CS. The object name is CS. So using dot operator I assign the value, the position, shield active and shield strength. Then we invoke the set shield method, move method, cargo method and drop cargo using dot operator. Now let's go to the second subclass, that is wrap cursor. We create instantiate the object using the second subclass wrap cursor WC. Assign the value to position, shield active, shield strength 13200. Call the method set field. Call the method move. Okay, here we override the method. So what will happen? Think. Yes. Here what happened is it. Here what happened? It shows the output of this move method, not the move method of the superclass. So method overriding is allowing a subclass to replace the implementation of a method from superclass. Yes, we will show in the output. We'll see it. Next one is the subclass starfighter. Starfighter SF dot position, assign the value to position, shield strength, shield active. Call the method set field, move and call the method fire missile. Now I define the object of superclass SS dot set field, SS dot move. Here I pass the parameter value through constructor directly 6708. Now let's run the code. So every part finished. Let's run the code. Run a Java application. Let's see the result. Look. Hi, I am non-parameterized constructor of the superclass Spacey. Look. Hi, I am non-parameterized constructor of the superclass Spacey. In each subclass, In each subclass, it inherits the properties of the constructor, that is default constructor. Hi, I'm not parameter non-parameter constructor superclass inherit, because we did not pass the parameter value, so it shows all subclass inherits this default constructor. Okay, next let's see the first class. What is the first one? First subclass cargo shuttle. So cargo shuttles, this is set field method of superclass. Yes, it shows specific data 906. I am move method of superclass spaceship. Yes, this is the subclass cargo shuttle, and drop cargo here. Everything it shows. Yes, the cargo shuttle part done. Everything is right. Next, go to the subclass. Which subclass? Wrap Crusher. So wrap Crusher, this is set field method of superclass. Yes. Spaceship data 3201. Correct. This is move method of subclass wrap Crusher. Yes. You can see here now. It replace the move method of superclass. It shows the move method of subclass whose output is I have written this move method is subclass wrap Crusher. In previous you can see this is the subclass this is the move method of superclass spaceship, because here I did not define the move method, did not override the move method, but here I override the move method, so it replace the move method of superclass, so it is called method overriding. Now the third subclass is Starfighter SF. I am non-parametric constructor superclass spaceship. Okay, this is the set field method of superclass. Yes, spaceship data 7302. Okay, I am move method of superclass spaceship. Yes, this is the fire missiles method of Starfighter. So everything is correct. Now let's go to the superclass object, that is SS. SS.set field. So this is set field method of superclass. Good. We invoke spaceship data 6708. Here you can see I pass the construct parameter value, so it involves the parameterized constructor. It did not call the non-parameterized constructor, but all the subclass call the inherit the non-parameterized constructor, because we didn't pass the parameters there. Here we pass the parameter in the constructor, so it invokes the parameterized constructor, not the non-parameterized constructor, and it invokes the move method too. I am move method of superclass spaceship. So this is all about is a relationship in Java. This is the demo of is a relationship. Here all subclass inherits the properties of superclass. So we convert class diagram of easy relations into code. Next, advantages of inheritance. What is the advantages of inheritance? The first one, code reusability. Yes, code reusability is the main advantage of inheritance. It is always nice if we could reuse something that already exists rather than creating a small all over again. Yes, instead of creating all the attributed method, the same attribute, same method again and again, we reuse it. So it is the main advantage of inheritance, the code reusability. Second, method overriding. By method overriding, the subclass replace the implementation of method from the superclass. Yes, the subclass replace the implementation method from the superclass. It is also known as runtime polymorphism. The great thing about the inheritance is that if I made a change in a superclass, it will automatically filter down and affect all the subclasses. If I made any changes in the superclass, it automatically filtered down to all the subclasses. So it is changing code in one place is much easier than having to change in each place. It makes much easier. In one place you change the code, it filters to all the subclasses. No need to change it in each classes. Right? So changing code in one place is much easier than having to change it in each places. So the advantages. These are the advantages of inheritance. Type of inheritance in Java. The different type of inheritance. One is single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. In single inheritance, only one superclass is there. In multiple inheritance, several superclasses are there. In multi-level inheritance, the class derived from a derived class. Okay, a derived class derived from a derived class. And in hierarchical inheritance, one superclass and many subclasses. We will learn about it more in detail in next video. For now, this much. If you have any doubt, then you can comment below and ask me. I will try my best to answer your questions. Thank you and see you in next